This is page 3 of 12-1, Sums, Products, and Factors. These are they call them magic diamonds. Don't know why. You're building some thought to ultimately factoring trinomials. So what this is do you see a pattern? This one, not so much. I can see this one the best, because how is 20, -5, and -4, or -4 and -9 related? So I'm going to use my orange and I'm going to say multiply. And I'm going to say multiply, and I'm going to say multiply. Okay? So now if you multiply -8 times 4, you get -32. And if you multiply 3x times -2x, you get -6x. And if you multiply -5x and -4x, you get 20x. The other one is to add. If you add -8 and -4, add. If you add -8 and 4, you get -4. If you add 3x and -2x, you get x. If you add -5x and -4x, you get -9x. So what you'll be doing is you will be getting these. Now when I'm going to write out what I need and then we'll do them. I always start from the bottom. Multiply to get 7. Add to get 8. The only way I can multiply 7 is 1 times 7. And 1 times 7 gives me 8. So this would be 7x and x, which would give me 8x. Some of them get more complicated. Multiply to get 36. Add to get 15. Now, some of you are going to actually have to do this where you're going to go 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 5, 6 and 6, and once you have this, it'll turn around. Okay? So then you'll have to go here and add them mentally and say 37, 20, 15, 13, 12, and there it is. So it is 12x and 3x. Okay. Multiply to get 3. Add to get -4. Well, I have 3 times 1, but that's 4, so it must be, one of them must be, to get 3 times 1 is 3, but also -3 times -1 is also 3. And to get a negative, I need to do adding. I would have to do that. So -3x and -1x. Okay, more magic squares. Multiply, get -12, add, get x. That's kind of odd because I'm going to do the 12, and so I have -1 times 12, -2 times 6, -3 times 4, and then it'll flip around. So when I do these, if I don't get a positive, it just means these signs are reversed. This is 11, this is 4, this is 1. I have my 1, so here's my answer right here, which is negative 3x and positive 4x. Whenever, this is actually your middle term. This is how we find our middle term. Whenever we don't have a middle term, your answers are going to be the same. Because notice, if this was a larger number, they would be farther apart. If it's a smaller number, they're closer together. Well, this is no number, so they're the same. Anyways, so multiply to get negative 64, add to get 0. 1 and 64, 2 and 32, 4 and 16, 8 and 8. Notice when I do 8 minus 8, I get 0, so it's a negative 8x and an 8x. I'm going to do multiply to net negative 300, add to get negative 20. I'm going to see if I can factor out that 10 and see if I can do that. I cannot. Okay, so 300 is 100 times 3, too far apart. It's, well, let's start at the beginning. 1 and 300, 2 and 150. Oh, they're going to be close together. 3 and 100, 4 and 75, 5 and 60, 8, 9, 10, and 30. Whew, those are 20 apart. 20 apart, but when I add them, I have to end up with a negative, so that would be a negative. So that would be negative 30x and 10x. After this, I'll put together a video for you to do your factors, because some of these are going to be, you're going to miss someone in here. I actually have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, not 6, or, yeah, I did miss 6. Ha, I missed 6. You're going to miss some, but I'll show you how you can use Desmos and a calculator to do it. Okay, here we go. Multiply to get negative 6. Add to get negative 1. That's really close together. So I have 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Ooh, did not even write 3. 2 and 3. But I'm adding them. One of them has to be a negative. The larger one has to be a negative. So it would be 1 and negative 6, or 2 and negative 3, and 2 and negative 3 equals negative 1. So this is 2x and negative 3x. Same as up there. Notice 8 times 8 was 64. So if I have this as a 0, I'm looking for two things that are the same. They multiply to get 36, and that is negative 6x and 6x. multiply to 100, add to get 20, 10x and 10x. Some of these are going to be, you'll see them, some of them you won't. I'll work with you on how to factor and how to figure it out. And that is the end of 12-1, sums, products, and factors.